Like, you're laughing at all, but this content infected Valorant like a disease for years until people finally woke up. You know, they snapped out of the matrix. Legendary titles such as, if we win this game, I'll give you an ooh-woo. I opened my DMs and saw this, featuring Cotton Tail.
So Valorant was one of the first games I played on PC. Because basically I spent all my money, you know, obviously buying the PC. I didn't really have that much, you know, to buy games, which, you know, I kind of didn't think about that. And I won't lie, I actually enjoyed it. I thought Valorant was fresh, it was fun. But after playing it for a while and hitting Ascendant 2 in one of the seasons, I just generally just disliked the game afterwards because it became very boring. And even then, like, after not even playing the game for like months, I've been seeing a trend of like people just stopping playing Valorant right now. So this is why Valorant is dying.
I literally just...
Come here.
What the frick?
I'm hungry, fun fact.
You're hungry? Just don't be.
I'm a little hangy right now.
Kinda sounds like Schrodinger.
You sounded like it last game. My
See,
brain
I
is
lost the
not
round because you gave me the wrong
No,
power.
I'm so sorry.
I'm
bud.
telling God, fanboy.
I'm so sorry.
This place is nice.
So when it comes to the community and content creators of Valorant, it's really cringe. Like, it's always like the ooey kittens or like those e-boys, and you know, they force their voices to go really deep and like this, and they talk to women and like, it's really cringe. Like, this is why I feel like a lot of people don't want to say they play Valorant, because when people think of Valorant, they think of this type of content. And of course you got like the pro leagues, you know, like tens, and but when like 50 to 60% of your other content from Valorant is literally just like this whole like cringy e-boy dating stuff, it's not a good reputation essentially. And also, some of these Valorant players are literally the most softest people on earth. Like, I've seen like a video a while ago where this Valorant girl, literally, I don't know what happened specifically, but she was like, yeah, if I ever get pregnant and it's a boy, I'm just gonna abort it and stuff like that. And I'm just there like, whoa, like, holy shit.
Better start indoctrinating him day one. We have to either make him trans or make him gay. We are not having a cisgender straight.
Like, Valorant is that type of game. Like, it has that type of community. Well, literally, it's like this whole like political thing, right? Where it's like, you can say anything that's politically correct and Valorant won't care. But if you say anything that's like deemed controversial, then essentially you basically will just get full banned. And also, your communication as well is so restricted. And I feel like that's why a lot of these like Valorant content creators or like players in general are extremely soft, because you can literally just get banned for just like swearing or raging and stuff like that. It's like almost bad as Overwatch 1, where literally I got banned for 2 weeks for calling out my tank for throwing because I made one mistake, and he literally threw the game, and somehow I'm the one that got banned, but not the player that's literally sabotaging the whole, ruining the game for the whole other like 3 other people on our team as well. It's just ridiculous. Because now you kind of got like these people in like these single file lines where they have to act a certain way and be a certain way just to play the game, so they just don't get banned or anything. Also, Valorant has way too much RNG when it comes to gameplay. I probably won't be able to find a clip, but it's like what Ten said. It's that the reason why people will prefer Counter-Strike over Valorant, and I'm not here to say Valorant is worse than Counter-Strike or Counter-Strike is better than Valorant, but when it comes to the gameplay and like shooting and like movement, see, Counter-Strike is just way better, because when you buy rifles, they actually are accurate if you stand still. They will go to exactly where your crosshair is when you shoot, and there's no random recoil. The recoils on the guns are extremely hard to control, and you do actually have to like have a lot of skill to control these type of recoils, but it's a good learning curve. Like, it shouldn't be completely RNG like Valorant, where it's like there's literally no reason to spray and pray unless you're using like running gunning with a Stinger or a Spectre. But I'm talking about running and gunning, I don't know how it's been like years since the game has released and running gunning is still an issue. The amount of times I've literally just been ran up on by a Spectre or a Stinger, Judge, Bucky is insane. Because I know for a fact if I try to do that on Counter-Strike, I will get heavily punished for moving and shooting. But in Valorant, it just seems pretty much fine. So it's like, Valorant has like this weird identity of, it's trying to be Counter-Strike, but it's trying to add like these random elements to it, and it's just not working together properly, because it's like, it's meant to be like First bullet is extremely precise. There's, you know, like your first bullet gonna be 100% accurate, and then when they're a little too far, like let's say sniper range, if you try to hit your first bullet, count your days, because even if your crosshairs on the head, your first bullet's gonna end up going to like above or a bit to left or right. And I think that inconsistency really just ruins the game, because it's just so much RNG. Like the only thing that's not on a RNG is the abilities in the game, or Chamber's weapon. That's why a lot of people love Chamber, because especially his golden sheriff, or whatever you want to call it, it's essentially just a guardian where it's just extremely accurate and you're never gonna miss unless you know your crosshair's not on the person's head. Like, compared to Counter-Strike, Valorant doesn't feel rewarding. It doesn't feel like you're getting better. It just feels more like you're struggling through the ranks to rank up. But in CSGO, I only played ranked for about a couple of weeks. I would say about 2-3 weeks, and I still don't play CSGO that much because now it's very lack of content. But I will always say that I will prefer Counter-Strike over Valorant, and I have way more hours in Valorant than I do in Counter-Strike, because I feel like I actually do improve in Counter-Strike. It feels like I'm actually getting better at the game. But with Valorant, it just feels like I don't really get better. It's just more of I hope for the best and just try aim the best as I can. Like, it doesn't feel rewarding at all. Also, there's an extreme lack of content in Valorant. Look at Counter-Strike's, like how many weapons they have compared to Valorant. I'm not trying to say Valorant should just copy every single weapon from Counter-Strike, but what I'm trying to say is that we need a little bit more. Like, there needs to be way more versatile ways to play the game, except for just the same old routine every single time. Like, don't get me wrong, Counter-Strike is pretty much the same to an extent, but you could actually force buy SMGs and just like rush B or rush mid or do whatever. Like, there's actually many different ways of playing around in Counter-Strike. When Valorant, it just feels like if you lose the first round, you just save the second round and then buy rifles the third round. And even if you win the first round, you just force buy to win the second round, and then you just play slow in the third round because you know they're running rifles. It's like literally you do the same thing almost every single game, and that's what really made it boring for me in the grind, because I literally could have grinded for Immortal. I was only 1.5 rank away. I was ascending to RR 77 or 70, something like that, and I just stopped playing because I just got so bored with like the game. And the game has been out for years, and literally they've only added like one new map recently, and even then the map sucks. Like, it's really not that good of a map. Like, it's cool, it has a lot more verticality, like you can fall off everywhere, but it's like, why are we adding this type of style when Skyscraper exists? Like, Skyscraper, the only times you will fall is when you're doing like a risky jump or whatever. But in Valorant, they literally made the map so it's just like you can just fall anywhere. Especially like a noob like me, because I don't play Valorant anymore. I never died to like, you know, falling off the map in my gameplay. It's so like dumb that this is literally like the first, like not first, but like a new map that hasn't been out or made in a long time for Valorant, and it's like this like try not to fall off the map type of map. And yes, they did add the outlaw to the game, but even then it's like that's like one new gun what every 3 years or 4 years now. Like, come on, like Riot Games are not stupid. They could definitely add way more weapons than they could have, but they just want to I don't know, like it just feels like they're just extremely lazy with it. And now we're going to go straight into microtransactions. Now, I do want to say first that I know it's a free-to-play game, so microtransactions will exist. I don't have a problem with microtransactions at all. It allows the game to be free, and here you have the option of buying the skins. But holy shit, the prices on these skins are literally not even worth buying most of the time. Like, I have like 1-2 skins I have, and that's it. And it's only for the Phantom and the Vandal. Anything else, that's it. Because I just don't understand what's the point of spending literally like you could buy a whole new game, or you could buy a Reaver's Vandal. Do you see what I mean? Like, why would you buy a Reaver Vandal over a whole new game? It's just dumb. And yes, you can make the argument because it's free to play, you know, the skins have to be expensive, so you know they can actually make the money back. But still, like, unless it's like a collab or something, it's still generally not worth it. Even Overwatch 2, like the Transformers collab, just to buy like all the Transformers skins is like 5,000 coins, I believe, or 5,900 coins, which is basically about £60. You get 4 skins from Transformers of each characters via like, you know, Transformers. But even then, it's like It's like, damn, that's a lot of money to put into a free-to-play game, and it's not even a skin that you can see in third person or anything. It's, you see what I mean? It's like, I just hate this, like, this modern gaming of just slap out a free-to-play game and just make, like, the game feels optional. It feels more like a shop than an actual game. It just feels like the game is there just because they need to make something for people to play, so they can actually be like, okay, I want to stick to this game, so let me buy these skins. That's what it feels like with a lot of these games. Where it's like even Counter-Strike, for example, right? You can argue that Counter-Strike is ridiculous because some of these knives can cost like 300, 400, 500, but the thing with CSGO is it's literally a whole market, and all the good skins are not super expensive. You can get some good ass skins for like $10, $20, cheaper than Valorant, by the way. And you can get different quality conditions, you can get this, you can get that. Like, it just feels like with CSGO, it just feels a lot more in depth because it's actually a market. And the best part is when you get these skins, like let's say if you get a knife for like, if it costs like 300, 400, 500, you don't have to keep the knife if you want. You can actually go and sell it onto like a website. You can sell it through the Steam and you get money from it. Like, and I don't understand why a lot of games don't do this type of like market style. Like, I know Rainbow Six Siege is actually going to come out with a marketplace soon, but a lot of games that, you know, have skins, let's say Valorant, like we're talking about now, they don't have anything like that. It's like you just buy the skin and that's it. I don't even know if you can still gift skins yet, but it's just ridiculous how these skins are going to cost so much and you can't even like sell them or do anything with skins. Like, once it's in your inventory, you literally can't do anything with it. They would make so much more money. Like, they could do it so it's like 1% of like every time like you sell a skin or buy a skin, you know, Riot Games can take like 1% of it, and so it's like they just basically get free money from just making good skins, and then when people sell them and trade them or whatever, they can even make more extra money. So I just don't understand why people don't really, not why people, why Valorant doesn't take, you know, the CSGO marketplace into the game. And also another thing I forgot to mention is the replay system. How in God's earth have Valorant been out for God knows how long now, and there's still no replay system? Overwatch has a replay system. Even, okay, I don't even know if COD even has a theater mode anymore. I'm pretty sure it doesn't, but a lot of games have theater mode or a replay system, and people have been begging and asking for a replay system for so long. Like, I don't understand it. Like, Valorant already is basically being played less and less each year, so I don't understand how I don't understand how Riot Games don't think that adding a replay system would not just make the game even better. Because guess what people can do with the replay systems? They can make their own like montages of, you know, they need to get like a certain angles, a certain like movements, all these things. Instead of having to go all the way into Blender and making the clips, they can literally just go into the replay system and make the clips there. Like, it adds a lot more accessibility to content creators that want to, you know, make montages and all these things. And so when people have more accessibility, guess what happens? People make more content of your game, and when people make more content of your game gets even more popular because people see this type of style of editing and like, oh, I want to make a montage as well. So people will grind your game and play it, and maybe they'll buy skins. Like, do you see what I mean? Like, it all goes all in like a full circle. So I just don't understand how Valorant just doesn't do anything. Like, it's crazy because Valorant is still popular to some degree. Like, it is dying, but it is still like popular to some degree, but they just don't want to add anything, and that's what happens. People just get bored out of the game. It's like one of my friends, Kasha, who used to be a female VCT, like she used to be in like a amateur pro team, and literally she just stopped playing Valorant because she literally just doesn't enjoy the game no more. She finds it extremely boring. And she's really good at the game as well. Like, she's playing against other like sweaty amateur teams as well. So it's like, when people like that, when they actually like go to like really high elos and all this shit, and she's like literally telling me how awful the game is, I'm inclined to believe her, because after playing with her, I can see how awful it is. Even me with like the worst mobile data right now and the worst ping, I was still like, you know, clutching up. I was still winning fights. I was still winning things like that. But then it's just, like, the game is just like, it's so toxic and non-toxic. Like, the game is just boring. Like, you get no rewards. You get nothing from it. Like, even leveling up in the game, like, there are levels and level progression in the game, but it literally does nothing for you. You get basically no rewards from the game. So I don't generally see a reason to play the game even more. besides just grinding ranked. So like that's all Valorant feels like. It just feels like you play ranked and that's it. Because I'm pretty sure the game did have esports in mind, of course, because you know it's like League of Legends, you know, it's Riot Games. They want to make a game that's very competitive and make it esports and blah blah blah. But it also ruined the casual player base of their game because they don't really have much else of any other content. Like there's no custom servers like CSGO, and I'm not gonna say that CSGO is better right now. Not CSGO, CS2 is better right now, because trying to do a private 1v1 in CS2 is such a pain in the ass, because I have to give my friend my IP address and all this, and he has to connect through my IP. It's a long process, but I still have the ability to actually, you know, do private servers on CS2. On Valorant, there's no way to do it. Like you do have private games and stuff like that, but there's no surfing, there's no custom maps, there's nothing like community made essentially. But thank you guys so much for watching the video. Please tell me if you agree with me, and if you didn't agree with me, comment. But if you did agree with me, comment what you think I was right on, comment what you think I was wrong on. Thank you guys so much again for watching. We are going for 1,000 subs, so please subscribe if you're watching the end of the video, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace.